Well, thank you, Mr. Chair and Minister and officials. Welcome you to the committee today in our study. Minister, in your procurement program, we know that a national defense employee, David Yo, was also running a company called Dalian, and under the Arrive Can scam, his company got $7.9 million. Now, National Defense fired David Yo. What are you doing to recoup that money that Dalian received? $7.9 million as part of the Arrive scam.
So thank you, Mr. Bezan. And let me point to another number when you point to defense procurement. It's less than 1%. That's what the former government invested in defense spending.
If you compare apples to apples, Minister, the budget or the parliamentary library has just found out that actual spending, apples to apples, actual spending on national defense is at 0.95% this year. So you guys are below 1%. It's only with creative accounting that you get up over that when you add in veterans' pensions and Coast Guard and global affairs. So let's just move on for that, because I don't think that you guys have a leg to stand on. If you're not going to answer the question on recouping taxpayers' money from a scam like Dalian and Arrive Can app, let's just go on to a question I asked last year. We were talking about getting the shoulder-launched missiles for our troops in Latvia, and I asked if there had been any live-fire exercises and tests of and a shoot-off between the different systems that are out there, and D&D confirmed that there wasn't. Now we're hearing that the Spike LR2 system is having problems, and they're not as accurate as expected. So I'm asking is why weren't the options tested before we actually procured a system that doesn't work to the expectations of our armed forces?
So two things again, less than 1%. I know you don't like to hear that.
You're less than 1% too. Come on, let's just move on.
But the second thing is, if you want to hear in more detail operational matters for D&D, I'm sure Minister Blair will be very pleased to come to you. I expect this meeting to center around the procurement activities that we need to do to support the armed forces. Obviously, these procurement activities are supportive of the needs of the armed forces, but also supportive of a more resilient and more competitive defense industry in Canada. We believe that when we invest in our industry, we also invest in our armed forces and support other allied countries at the same time.
So you have to fix it, because as we know with the Spike LR2 system, it hasn't met expectations, and our troops are wondering why we didn't do the proper testing and procurement in that process. To move on, now we have the defense industry that employs all sorts of different types of people, and you signed a number of certificates of exemption from registration under the Controlled Goods Regulation, which is granted to citizens of Russia, the People's Republic of China, and Iran. And this is with industries that are developing sensitive military technologies. Do you believe it's a national security risk to allow foreign nationals access to those military sensitive technologies?
Well, first you spoke about Russia, and I think it's important to point to things that, unfortunately, I mean, you may not have agreed with that, James, that things that your party did in the House of Commons, which was to oppose every measure we put into place to support Ukraine in its war against the unjustified battle.
Ukraine, that's why. Like if he politics, Mr. Chair, let's actually have him answer the questions I'm asking.
It works better when you don't talk over each other. And whether the questions you are asking and the answers that he is giving, you're not able to direct. He's not able to direct your questions, and you're not able to direct his answers. So I'm going to turn to the minister and ask him in as short a time as possible to respond to Mr. Brezan's questions in the 2 minutes that he has left.
Yes, well, you did correctly speak to how we defend Ukraine against Russia, and that's exactly what we have done until now. Unfortunately, this is teamwork. No, we need to be every party in the House need to be aligned in supporting Ukraine against Russia, and unfortunately, this is not what we have seen recently, including on the free trade accord.
supporting Ukraine, then let's make sure Russia doesn't get access to our military secrets. Since 2016, PSPC, as minister, has signed off on 190 citizens of China, 22 Russian citizens, and 4 citizens of the Iranian regime who are international students, temporary foreign workers, or visitors to Canada. And that's gave them access to military technology like jet engines, diagrams, blueprints, electronic countermeasures equipment, missile technology. You know, Section 5504 strategic goods is including, but not limited to, global navigation systems, things like that. So why would we allow our adversaries to actually enter into any defense industry, and you allowed it by giving those industries permission to have 199 citizens of the People's Republic of China, 22 Russians, and 4 Iranians access to our military defense industry?
I'm sorry, MP Bezin, I don't accept the premises of your various questions. You're stating a number of facts which are inaccurate. It may be because you have been misbriefed or didn't have the opportunities to get the proper security clearance that you would need to know and understand those information. But what I would point
I've actually asked for a security clearance, and of course the government is saying, you don't need to know, Bazan, so I'm not going to get a security clearance.
Respond to your question.
Now, talking about the equipment that matters so much, and I think you're correct to point to that. Now, with the announcement we made in Budget 2024, we are going to head to the 2% NATO target that is so important to Canada. This being said, and we know you don't like to hear that, but we were investing less than 1% of our GDP in defense spending prior to us coming into power. We've increased that to 1.4% now. It's going to go to 1.8% in 2028 and then ahead to 2% by 2032. These are tangible things that we need to do to support our military.
Okay, we're going to have to leave the enthusiastic